Every fucking beat demolished when I snap its fucking cable.
Guys, welcome back to another video. It's been a very long time since we uploaded a video, considering the way we were uploading. It's been a while. To be honest, I've been wanting to upload a Let's Talk Football, but every day I've been wanting to. A new game has happened, and I wanted to upload it yesterday, but now the Man United just won 9-0. So I'm gonna probably upload one on Thursday, which is tomorrow, because today City should also play, and then Barca play tomorrow morning, and Madrid, and all the teams would have played. And Fridays, no teams are playing, so I'm gonna upload on Friday. But it's gonna be a long video. But in today's video, we're gonna be going back to the tier list, which is something we haven't done since the Premier League predictions, and we're basically gonna be ranking the Premier League strikers. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get started. Now, first off, we have Ollie Watkins, who I think is a very underrated striker in my honest opinion. Watkins is one of the most underrated strikers, so I'm gonna put him in the underrated column. Although he doesn't get the goals, I do think that he deserves more respect, considering the impact he's had on the Villa side. Next is Richarlison, and I think Richarlison he's a good player. He is not as consistent this season as he's had a couple of injuries. However, Everton look much better with Richarlison than they do without him, because, well, they just do. The next one I have is Maupay. I'm gonna put him in average. I don't think he's that good of a striker. Honestly speaking, I think he's pretty rubbish. He has too much of an ego, and he even got dropped earlier in the season for the Tottenham game in November or October or November, which was because he had a quote inflated ego unquote. So I'm not a fan of Neal Maupay. He's a good striker, I guess, but he's right now he's not having a good season, and he only scores a couple amount of goals. And for the chances his Brighton team, like for the football Brighton play, I'd expect him to be scoring more. Yes, they might not be clear-cut chances, but Brighton play some good football. It's not like they play like a 4-5-1 and Maupay is a lone striker. That's not true at all. Sometimes he has good quality wingers most of the time and good midfielders supporting him. So his goal tally needs to be higher than what it is right now. As for the next one, I believe that is Eddie Nketiah, who is honestly, again, average. I don't rate him much. It's just, he's a young player, that's why it's like, I don't rate him that much, but I see some people do, but he's okay for me. The next up, we have the duo of Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes. Ashley Barnes will be the first one. I'm gonna put Ashley Barnes and Chris Wood both in the underrated column. Barnes is not having the best season in terms of goals, and neither has Wood is having a decent season, but not the best. However, I do think that they're both really good center forwards, and they're strikers, and they're very helpful to Sean Dyche because it fits his system perfectly. It allows his system to function, and I really think that their importance to that Burnley side is very understated. The next player we have is Rodrigo Moreno, who has been average again. Very luckily average, to be honest, but because I've not made a bad category, average is where he'll play. To be fair to him, he's played in midfield, but still, when he does play up top, he doesn't look convincing. He didn't even look convincing for Valencia. He got 4 goals last season for Valencia, so I'm not sure why people were expecting him to hit 20 goals this season, but yeah. The next one is Jamie Vardy. Vardy's having a party in a lot now. He's probably very good for me. I wouldn't say he's world class because I do think there are some games where he can be anonymous for a while. Like, not even, like, I know strikers' jobs, like traditional striker, it's not that he should help the build up, but sometimes some strikers adjust, like the likes of Firmino, Jesus, Cavani, Martial. Kane, they all adjust sometimes to help their team out. But Vardy, not in my opinion, he doesn't do that. However, that being said, the man is a lethal finisher, and when you give him a chance, 9 times out of 10 he takes it. Next one is Roberto Roberto Firmino. Ah, what a boy. Well, I mean, it's Roberto Firmino. This man's the most overrated striker in the Premier League. Not gonna lie. Like, I have no respect for Firmino. I never did. Never liked him. And I never understood why people kept saying he's such a good player. Like, he's average at best again. Roberto. Oh yeah. Sorry, I just fell asleep for. The next one we have is Sergio Aguero, and I have to put him in good. I can't put not even good. Not gonna lie. I think this season I don't think it's fair to include Aguero in any of these lists. So I'm not going to put him in the list. Honestly, I don't think it's fair to put Aguero in because he's not played enough football, and when he has, City look much better. But we'll put Gabriel Jesus in average, maybe underrated. Let's be nice. We'll put him in underrated. I know his goals output isn't the best. He's on like 6 goals this season in all competitions. However, he's also had injuries. He had COVID. And his role to the team is much more important than people think. He could drop back into like a CDM. I know Firmino does that as well, but Jesus still gets the goals most of the time. Firmino doesn't get the goals, albeit Jesus wastes more chances. Usually, Jesus still gets 20, 25 goals a season regardless. So, yeah. So the next one we have is El Matador, Edinson Cavani. I'm gonna put him in good again. As for Anthony Martial, I'm gonna put him in average. Sorry, I didn't talk about Cavani, but I will talk about him now. So for me, Edison Cavani, he's a good player. And his finishing is lethal, albeit he was rubbish in the Arsenal game. He's a lethal finisher, and he makes a big difference for Man United because he gives them a completely different option against a side that maybe against like a side where you might only get 1 or 2 chances. I would play Cavani because I think he would take those chances. But with Martial, it's more like if it's against a side who you can create 5 or 6 goals against, then like against Southampton. Martial was good, but again, it's only because Man United were playing so free flowing, and the fact that Southampton had 10 men for effectively the whole game, or and 9 for a part of it as well. It helped Martial a lot because of his space to get in behind. So yeah, Callum Wilson, I think he's underrated, to be honest. My God, this man is on. He scored 67% of Newcastle's goals this season. That's stupendous. Not going to lie. For a player that was he for a player that he he scored a lot of penalties, but I don't think Newcastle would be any even relatively safe without him. Next up is David McGoldrick, Roberto Firmino. We don't need to explain for the Roberto Firmino category. Next up is Che Adams. He's had a good season, but I would put him in average. I wouldn't rate him anything higher than that. The next up is the best striker in the league. It's Harry Kane. Um, he's the best in the league. He was always one of the best in finishing in the whole world, but now he's added assists to his game, and it's crazy. The next one is uh, Robinson, I believe, from West Bromwich Albion. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that's Robinson. So I'm gonna put him in average as well. He's okay. I wouldn't rate him too highly. He's an okay player. From next up is Michael Antonio, who's very good for me. I know he's sometimes people say he's stat pad, but that doesn't matter. It's the fact is that he's scoring quite a lot still. For a player that was injury hit a lot and had to be replaced by Haller, who has transferred, he's pretty. I'm pretty sure he's still having a really good season and he's a really good player, especially because he gives those runs through like channels which help West Ham a lot, in my opinion. Next up is Jimenez. I'm gonna put him in very good, but just because I know he's a very good striker, but I honestly feel really bad for Jimenez. The man has had a head injury, which could be a career-ending injury. Yes, he's coming back to full fitness, but people don't realize the after effects of an injury on a player. Like I think some people forget that, but he's so good, Raul Jimenez, and He's one of the best in the league. Even before his injury, he was playing really, really well, Raul Jimenez. So yeah. The next up is Fabio Silva, Roberto Firmino. He's good. Look, it's harsh to rate Fabio Silva because he's 19. He's a kid who's coming to a new league for 40 million, big price tag. I get it, but the fact is that he needs to score. He is. Wolves are not having a good season. I'm so sorry, but Wolves are not having a good season, and everyone thought that Fabio Silva could step up with Jimenez's injury. It was like a chance for Fabio Silva, but he's been average. His runs have been good, but still average for me. And not even average. That's being rude to the strikers here. These strikers have been average. This man has been pathetic. Not gonna lie. Connolly, I haven't seen much Connolly, but from what I can tell from his goals output, he's not been good at all, to be honest. So I'm gonna put him in Firmino as well. Tammy Abraham, underrated for me. This man, you gotta respect Tammy's attitude. Not gonna lie, he's constantly on the bench for the majority of Chelsea's games this season. He's playing, like he's playing. No, he's not playing out of position, but for a lot of the games that he's out of the bench, you don't see him complain. But when he does play, he takes his chances, and you gotta respect that. The next is Jordan Ayew, who I think he's average. I wouldn't rate him higher than that. Like he's average at best for me. He's a good workhorse, but his goals output has slightly. Last season, if this was last season, I would have given him good, but it's not, so I can't. Next one is Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's slightly slowed down, but I still think he's a very, very good player. Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's still getting in the goals quite a lot, and it's slowed down, of course, but it's for the fact that he's already passed 11 goals, and we're in January only for an Everton player. That's unheard of since the days of Romelu Lukaku. And the next one is someone who I think is very good, but I'm gonna put him in good because people are gonna call me insane. But I think Patrick Bamford is really, really good. I know he wasted a couple of chances, but his finish, it doesn't matter. He scored the highest non-penalty goals in the Premier League this season. That's pretty crazy. Not gonna lie. The next player is Alexandre Lacazette, who is, I would say right now, good because he is getting the goals. However, I still a little bit skeptical about him. It's like I would put him in between. I'll put him in good because I know he's getting the goals, but at the end of the day, we all know he's capable of missing 100 chances a game. So yeah, Ryan Brewster, Roberto Firmino, Danny Ings, world class. Sorry, I don't need to talk about Ryan Brewster. I feel bad for the kid, but it's as simple as that. He's not good enough for the Premier League right now, and I don't think he's going to be. Not under the Sheffield United side, who are struggling for their lives. But um, yeah, I mean, next up it was Danny Ings, who I put in world class, just because I honestly rate Danny Ings so much, and he's one of the best strikers in the league. His consistency, while it's dried up this season, but that's also because Che Adams has started getting a couple of more goals. So it makes sense, and you got to credit Danny Ings. He could have easily transferred to a club like Spurs, and he might even have played there. Given Kane and Son's persisting injuries, he probably would have played, especially now, and he would have started and scored. But he's stuck loyal, and for that alone, he's very good. And then if you add his goals output, it's incredible. The next one is Mitrovic. I wouldn't say he's Roberto Firmino just because I don't see him play too often because there was a full stretch where he was just getting dropped. But I do think Fulham look a much more competent side with him on the pitch. Like they have a lethal, like a not like a lethal, but like a target to aim for. Because as much as Ademola Lookman is a good player, he's a winger at the end of the day. So he's gonna be doing things that a winger will do. So the next one is Jay Rodriguez, who's average again. He's been okay. Rodriguez not scored too much, but can't blame the guy. Michi Batshuayi, I feel really sad including him, but it's a fact he's only scored 2 goals this season, and I know he's not played that much. But the fact is that even when Roy brings him on, I don't think the manager trusts him. And there must be a reason for the fact that the manager trusts Christian Benteke over him. You have to think about it. Something is clearly wrong, and hopefully he can get his form back. And as for Timo Werner, this category was legitimately made for him. It was literally Roberto Firmino and Timo Werner. He's been pathetic, Timo Werner. I don't care what anyone says. He's got a couple of goals, but his body language, his attitude, it's all been pathetic. So yeah, the last two that we had to leave were Sergio Aguero because he's not played enough. I'll put him in very good because we all know he is, and Haller has transferred. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy. I will catch you guys tomorrow.